welcome to Code Crush Coding. In this video we are going to learn about for each loop in Java. So what is for each loop? Before that we have already learned the for loop, while loop and do while loop. So all these loops are used for iteration purpose. So for each is another way of traversing the array elements or the collection elements. In this video we are going to learn the for each loop with respect to array. So what it does, so for each loop is used for traversing the array elements. So it starts with the keyword for, like a normal for loop. So for each loop starts with a keyword for, like a normal for loop. And here instead of declaring and initializing a loop, a counter variable, you declare a variable that is the same type as the base type of the array. So we know for a normal for loop, we first initialize the variable, then we provide the conditions, and then we provide the iteration, right? But in for each loop, you just need to provide a keyword for, then a variable and the data type of that variable. So this data type of the variable will be similar to that of your array. And what this variable will do, it will store the array elements one by one. So for example, if you have an array which is of type integer and which stores the integer values 10, 20, 30, 40. So how you can use this for each loop to traverse the array element? So here you need to provide a keyword for. Once you provide a keyword for, then you need to provide the data type. So data type should be same as your data type of the array. So array data type is integer, so I will provide here integer. Then the variable name, you can provide any variable name. Then you need to give colon and the name of array. So here the name of array is ARR. So I will say here ARR, and inside that I need to provide the body of for each loop. So in the loop body you can use the loop variable you created rather than using the indexed array element. So earlier what we do to print an array elements, you need to provide the index positions, right? So if you want to print the first element, then you will say array of I. Instead of that you can directly provide the variable name here. Okay, so let's see in the practical implementation of how we can use the for each loop. So here I have an array called num which are storing the integer values 10, 20, 30, 40. So to print the array elements with the help of a normal for loop, what we need to do, first we need to initialize a variable. So int I is equal to 0. Then I will continue this loop till the size of array, so less than num dot length. So num dot length here will be 4. So I will continue till 3, right? So because the last element will be stored at num of 3, because num of 0 will be 10, num of 1 will be 20, num of 2 will be 30, and num of 3 will be 40. And then every time I need to increment the value of I. So in this way I can print the array elements. If I run this code, so I will get the output here 10, 20, 30, 40, which are my array elements. Now instead of using this normal for loop, I will make use of for each loop. So how we can make use? First you need to declare for, then here you need to provide the data type. So data type will be integer, right? Integer, then the name of variable. You can provide any name. So let's say we say here var is the name of variable. So see, first we have provided the data type, then the variable name, then the colon, and then the name of array. So name of array here is num. So I will say here num. And inside this I need to provide the body for each loop. So what I want to do, I want to print the array elements. So I will say yes, sysout. So here I can directly provide the name of variable. So here I have provided var, and if I try to run this code now, so see, I'm able to get the array elements here. So I'm able to traverse the elements of array using the for each loop. So this for each loop is more readable and easy to use, right? Before whatever the normal for loop we have used. So for iteration purpose, you can always use the for each loop. The syntax is very easy. Just you need to remember the data type of that particular array, and you need to provide the name of variable, and that variable you can use inside the body of for each loop. Now another example we can take string array. So let's take one string array. So I will say a string, let's say names and it will store the names of employee or names of student, anything. So let's provide names. Let's say John, let's say Sam and Tom. So these are the three names here, and now I want to iterate on this array. So here the data type is string, right? So I will change the variable data type to string, because it will be storing now the string values, because each time one value will be stored inside this variable. Now let's have the name as var only, and here we will change the array to names, and we will print the var. So if I run this code now, so see, we are able to get the values of array names here. So in this way you can make use of for each loop. So the main use of for each loop is to traverse the array until the last element. So whatever the last element is there, till the loop will continue. So for each element, it stores the element in the variable and executes the body for each loop. So every time in the iteration, the values of array will be stored inside this variable for each iteration. But there is one drawback for using this for each loop. So what is the drawback? So it can not traverse the elements in reverse order. So here you can see we have just provided the data type of variable, and we have provided the array. So by default it will traverse the element from the first index position till the last, so in the normal order, but it cannot traverse the element in the reverse order. So if you want to print first the last element and then want to continue till the first element, so that cannot be done by using the for each loop. So you cannot traverse the element in reverse order using for each loop. If you want to traverse the element in reverse order, you need to make use of normal for loop only. So how we can do that? So here you need to say for let's say one variable you need to have, let's say int I, and that will start from array names dot length -1, because whatever the length of array, the last index position will be -1, right? So it will start from names dot length -1, and it will continue till 0 while I is greater than equal to 0, and I minus minus, because we will reduce the value of I each time, because if we see here, what will be the length here? 3. So names dot length -1, 3 minus 1, 2. So I will have the first value as 2. So names of 2 we will print. So name of 2 will be Tom here. So we will reduce the value of I. Then the I value will be 1. So names of I will be Sam. After that we will reduce the value of I. It will become 0. So name of 0 will be John. After that the condition will become false, and we will come out of the for loop. And if I print here, sys out, and now we cannot make use of the variable, we need to make use of index position, right? So we will print here names of I, and now if I try to run this code, let me remove this part here, for each loop part, and let's run this code. So see, we are able to get the values in reverse order. First we are getting Tom, Sam and John, but that is not true with the help of for each loop, because for each loop will always traverse the element in the normal way. So if you want to just traverse the element in a normal sequence, then you can make use of for each loop. So I hope you have understood the use of for each loop. So that's it in this video. We will cover another topics in next video. Thank you for watching.